The thing that I love about the Wise Guys teams is that you guys have a knack for finding the most passionate founders. They know what they're doing, they believe in what they're doing, and nothing is going to stop them.
It is really intense, I have to say, but I really enjoy it because I feel every day I'm totally evolving in this program, and I see that I have so many weapons already.
It's challenging at times. We come with a strong background of doing a lot of things at once, but it's just amazing to be next to the teams, showing all the creativity you can to help them. So it's not something you have to deliver, it's very creative work, and that's what I'm very surprised that I really like it.
I think the best of the difficult part always. You already know everything, but here the borders are infinite, just so much things to learn.
One of them is the passion, and the other one is how much we care about each other. Among everything, we are a team that really likes to spend time with each other, and part of that is because we all share the mission.
Because I always had the feeling that this is the family that I have.
This is not a job, this is what we love to do. I think when you can mix that one, it's great. We just have to sometimes understand that, hey, there is more people around us that we have to put some time for them.
For us, it was mainly like a crash course startup MBA, basically, kind of. It's kind of like a bottle of good wine, kind of that keeps getting better all the time.
I mean, Wise Guys team is what keeps me energized through everyday life. When I started working with the startup scene, Wise Guys was my kind of entryway, so I feel like it's a family. I'm like an adopted startup Wise girl.
I just remember one scene from the Tech Chill 2 months ago when you had the demo day with Swedbank. Nearly all the startups were nearly crying when they said goodbye to the mentors. They can really feel the energy, and I think culture beats everything. And I also see Wise Guys as an execution machine.
Yeah, and people ask that why do you do that? There is no money, and very many accelerators have failed after a year or two. I believe that if you really want to do it, if it's your vision, and then you just can't give up, and you will figure it out how it works.
And you have to pitch at the big stage, right?
Yes. My hands are already shaking.
It's too easy for us because this whole month stuff at Wise Guys, every day we preaching, it's easy for us.
Now we are only going up, and only the sky is the limit.
This is love for what we do at the end of the day, and this is our life that we want to have.
I already know that when it's over, then I'm gonna cry.
3 minutes of station, now back to work.
Amazing. I love it. Welcome everyone who has joined. This was a quick glimpse into what Startup Wise Guys is all about. I'm Louise, Marketing Communications Manager at Startup Wise Guys, and I have gathered here these 3 amazing ladies with me today to talk about the Wise Guys SaaS program. A quick intro before I give them one word to make introductions about Startup Wise Guys. So we have been accelerating the startups since 2012, and actually I think we have a birthday in a couple of days. So whoop whoop, celebration coming on.
Yes, we have.
Yes, so we have accelerated 22 batches. 3 programs are right now in full speed going on. We have a portfolio of 220 startups, and this Q&A is about you being able to join this amazing group of companies. We have had 2 major exits, and the survival rate of our startups is 77%, and the rumor has it that the number is actually a bit higher. And we have an amazing network, which you get to feel, and you saw a little bit of that network in this short intro video of like 500 founders of startups and about 500 mentors and investors that are really, really eager to work with the startups and anyone who joins our programs. And part of that network, also these 3 ladies. So let's go around. Let's start with Karina. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hi everyone, I'm head of scouting, Karina, and our team members are calling me also chief swiping officer because I'm among the first people that are actually looking at your applications, guys and ladies, and I will be happy to see more cool startups joining our team, our family. And yeah, and I'm responsible also, together with my colleagues, I'm responsible for a scouting process for this upcoming SaaS program.
Mariia, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I guess I'm one of the freshest additions to the team since I only joined this month, but I'm going to be the managing director of the SaaS batch that we are scouting very actively right now. The history is that I have been within the Startup Wise Guys family for 2 years as a mentor. And so, yeah, we will talk a little bit about that today, about the effect of the network and what the program brings. So I'm going to be leading the program that we're going to talk about today.
And the next batch will be happy to have Mariia as a program director for B2B SaaS. And I'm Alexandra. I'm with Wise Guys for the past 3 years. We joined actually together with Karina. And the fun fact is that all 3 of us here, except for Louisa, have joined Wise Guys on the 1st of February. But different years, I don't know. 1st of February is a fun date for us.
And February is supposed to be a really productive month as usual.
Yes, true. I am still running the batches at Startup Wise Guys. I'm running currently sustainability batch, and before that I was running B2B SaaS batches. The one that will also start in April, that Mariia will be leading.
Yeah, so a great group of people to whom ask any questions that you are interested in. So anyone listening, if you have anything on your mind, don't hesitate to write in the social media comments section. We see all your questions coming in, and we will try to answer them as we go. But before we start, some things for you to remember. So Wise Guys SaaS batch will be starting in April, and applications are right now open, and they're open till March 8th. An important thing, if you manage to apply this week, you can still jump into the train of our online pre-accelerator program, which is actually a very, very cool opportunity to get access to equity-free knowledge base. You already get to talk to the mentors, you get to work a lot with Karina on your pitching and so on, and she makes sure that you know what you're talking about and you can
I'm already shaking my hands. If Lisa will allow me, I will add a bit later a couple of words about online pre-acceleration program, because I think it's even funnier than the regular equity-based one, but I will shut up right as for now and say a bit about that a bit later. Yeah.
Yeah, but we can actually continue with you, Karina. So let's start with explaining who can apply to this program and what are the requirements. What kind of startups are we looking for Wise Guys SaaS program?
Yeah, that's a regular question. And actually, we decided to define it like that we are looking for teams that have initial version of the product and some traction. By traction, I mean at least testing customers. So this is the right perfect timing for teams to join any acceleration program, Startup Wise Guys acceleration program, because it will extremely fruitful in this specific period. Of course, it's even more beneficial for teams that already have MRR, working product clients, and are ready to scale outside their home country. Believe me, guys, you will speed up your business in 1 month after you will join the batch. And yeah, so we are looking primarily for B2B SaaS startups that work with the businesses, and they are solving as the main target, they are solving problem of the business. And of course, during this process of solving problems businesses, you probably are also helping regular average people as the end users. We're also eager to take a look at that. But one important thing, if you are doing pure B2C startup, unfortunately, this program will not be beneficial for you. And but the industries, we have no limits for industries and for countries and for topics that you are covering with your product.
Maybe you can also give a quick glimpse into how the selection process actually looks like. So person goes to the startupwiseguys.com/SaaS website, presses the apply button, what happens next? And you can touch upon also the pitch days that we have and OPA and explain them a little bit.
Yes, good. Let me explain that briefly. So actually, the scouting process and pre-selection process starts with your application. So please apply and make sure that you are putting in a white list of your mailboxes, startup includer tool email, because we always answer within 1 week. Usually we take range 2 weeks, but right now we're answering probably in just like 2 days. We are answering on your application, and this is how your journey with Startup Wise Guys is starting. We actually pre-select startups, we scout for startups also proactively. So if we are reaching out to you or you want to reach out to us without filling in the application, you can also do that. There are emails available on our webpage and website. So after first initial pre-screening process, we invite teams to participate in our pitch days, when we give a first initial feedback and create first initial, let's say, decision. What are the next steps? Because the next steps could be a completely different one. Because if you see that you are too early right now for a SaaS batch, but you in 3 to 4 months you will be perfectly fitting in a fintech batch, we will offer you the best solution that fits your needs of your business the best. And after the pitch days, we are offering next technical due diligence and the range of the calls with the managing team of batch. And at the end of that process, we are gathering all the promising teams to our selection bootcamp. And I think I covered all the major steps of this process. Yeah, by the way, if we see that you are a bit too early, but still will benefit from the online program, online pre-acceleration program that we run before the bootcamp, we will also invite you to join this cohort of promising, interesting, eager to learn startups. So you will then definitely, you could be surprised with this offer, but that doesn't mean that you will not have any opportunity in the future to join the regular equity batch. This is actually just one of the steps, which is also beneficial for startups at that early stage.
Yeah, that kind of partially touches upon a question that we see in the comments, and we see your comments and we will get back to them. We will kind of briefly go over all of the things and make sure that we cover the basics, and then we will go back to your questions and we will answer those.
I really like the question, which accelerator is your main competitor? It's like, I feel like right now we are pitching. I feel like we are pitching right now to startups.
But we are pitching. We are pitching to startups the Wise Guys SaaS acceleration program. So that's a very good question. But as for the requirements, I see also questions about the requirements. So Karina already mentioned that we are looking for B2B SaaS startups. But also I will direct this back to Karina. Question we often get, are there any geographical restrictions for startups? The program will be run from Tallinn, or fingers crossed that it lets it to happen for a little bit in Tallinn at some point. But yeah, maybe the geographies, Karina, can you Tell us.
Yes, we don't have any restrictions. So actually we are scouting and receiving applications from all over the globe, and we are happy, and we are having no bias or limitations. And so feel free to fill in the application from the country where you're living, where you reside right now. It doesn't matter for us, especially in times of COVID and pandemic situation. Anyone could join our online pre-acceleration and acceleration program so far. The only one important thing that I want to mention for the startups that often apply and probably are not receiving any answer, or receive an answer that you are too early and they give up, we are practicing zero waste approach in our application process, which means if we want to send the decline note, we always explain why. So usually the only reason is if you guys are doing B2C products. In the rest of the cases, we are keeping your application, and from time to time we are asking you kindly to send us update reports, and if we see that we have upcoming program that your startup will benefit from, we're always sending reminders that we open applications, and we're reaching back to you. So no worries with that you right now are on idea stage. Please apply, and if you with the time will grow a bit your idea to the prototype stage, we'll definitely, and you will reach out to us, we will definitely offer you something. So we are always trying to stay in a long-term relationships and long-term communication with each startup. I hope I answered on that. Like several questions already.
Yeah, Alexa?
I will just add on the geography where you started from. Purely from the example, Karina already mentioned that we are geography agnostic. To give you an understanding, in our portfolio, out of 220 companies, if I remember correctly, we have 42 countries. So it's quite wide, and so we have a lot of them, and we have starting from US to Australia to Africa to India, a lot of Europe, of course.
Oh, we have so many great examples, from different countries that are joining our batches. And I would like to mention also that, for example, online pre-acceleration programs are even more diverse. We usually have participants in one cohort from 17 up to 20 different countries. So it's like 100% international programs.
Yeah, so another important reason and part why it's worth joining this program, because you get access to these amazing people from all over the place, and it's like you never know. We at Wise Guys team are like right now from 10 different countries, and it's actually magic what you can get from all these different nationalities working together. So okay, let's jump into the program itself, and I will go give a word to Mariia. Could you kind of explain us how the program looks like, what startups should be what they can expect, how much time it gets, like a brief introduction into that one?
Of course, my pleasure. I will remind you again that we're actively scouting and the applications are closing on March 8th. What happens after is, of course, we're going through the selection process, and it finishes up with the bootcamp, where we're usually inviting something around 20 to 25 startups for a 3-day intensive, you could call it a micro due diligence event. So we have quite a number of interviews and like workshops that we go through with the startups in order for us, for our expert team, our invited experts, mentors, and investors, to evaluate what is the idea, the team behind it, how does it fit our criteria, and we're just looking for the best talent, for the most eager founders, for the most passionate people about their idea and about how they are going to change or create something new in their niche market. So the bootcamp for us is going to take place around the March 15 week. And then from there on, after the 3 days of intensive talks and conversations with us and our experts, there's going to be the final decision on who is going to join the acceleration program. Usually our number is around 10 teams, but it varies from batch to batch. Of course, if we have very strong teams, we're willing to consider the number of them.
And there are always some exceptions. If I'm not mistaken, Alexa was running one of the batches. Alexa was running with having 12 teams, or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that regarding the number, to give you a bit of also additional understanding, the usual pipeline that we have is around 300-400 applications that we're looking through, and then around 25 of them are coming to the bootcamp, and then it's we're targeting or we're aiming to have 10. But yes, the largest batch we ever had was 14 startups. I think even 15. No, I think it was 14. But it's always kind of an exception. We also had batches smaller. So we had batches with 7, I think, startups was the smallest one, which means that 10 startup is a target, but we are not taking 10 because we have to. We're taking either more or less if we like startups. Or we don't like it.
Yeah, still pre-selection process is quite tough, and usually we are almost fighting on the selection committee. I would say this is the funniest part that I love.
That's something that Mariia will be able to kind of experience for the first time.
No, that's true. Yes, and so after we've selected our lucky 10-ish teams, then we're going into the acceleration programs. This SaaS batch is starting from April, and it's going to be 20 or 21 weeks long. And so during this time, we will have both working weeks, where you will be able to implement the implementation weeks, all the gainings and learnings you have had from the workshops and all of our learning frameworks that we're going through. We have let's say the midterm of the pitch day, when we're looking at the progress of the teams. So during the program, it's very intensive on learning, let's say, the fundamentals of the business. So your team, you building the product, your differentiation and position on the market, how you're positioning and messaging yourself. Then, of course, we have the whole stream dedicated to sales. We have a separate program that is teaching about fundraising, and then, of course, the pitch learnings that just must have for any startup. I think at some point, some of our startups are just pitching every day, and Karina is one of our strongest teachers on that regard.
Yeah, actually, then they're not only pitching. You forgot to mention that during the process, the toughest process, they're having also a lot of fun. I think that, yeah, like without fun, nothing will happen. Nothing good will happen. It's not about work, as Cristobal mentioned in the video when we started that. Oh my God, that was a passionate video. There is a lot of fun. I couldn't call it work, So yeah, my suggestion is to answer on the question that is drilling there.
It's drilling there. Yeah, so I actually wanted to ask, kind of continue on what Mariia started about the program itself. So we have a hybrid program right now, and we have questions here about the events. What about also about the bootcamp? Is it happening online or not? Also tied to another question tied to Tallinn and Estonia about can startups actually obtain the visa of Estonia? And maybe Alexa might cover that part, but about the online on-site part, maybe Mariia, you take that first.
Yeah, of course. As you all know, we're in times of uncertainty as to how will the health regulations in different countries appear to be in the spring. And the biggest value is, of course, to be on site and to be the part of this crazy mass of talent and passion and fun and work all of it on site within the offline acceleration program. Yet we do understand that the conditions may not allow us to bring all the teams to Tallinn, to Estonia. So during the last year, we have completely changed our program into the hybrid mode. That means that we are as effective online as we are on site. All the previous years, we've had this on site. So now we have transformed the program so that we make sure that we deliver the same value. We give just as many mentor workshops, we give just as many lectures and masterclasses on all the mentioned frameworks that we're leading our startups through. So our hopes are that, of course, we're going to be on site, but if something, we are fully ready and charged for the fully online program as well.
Yeah, and maybe we can touch a little bit the question that we had about, so if COVID lets us, we would really love to have startups in Tallinn and on site and meet. And you actually, if you saw the video at the beginning that we showed, it was filmed 2 years now ago in Latitude. That is actually a big part of also this batch. And so it's kind of the fun and the feeling that you get of being on site. But so a question tied to Estonia and gaining visa there. I think maybe Alexa, you can cover this part a little bit.
I think you see the question somewhere that I don't see them as well, because I'm not sure that I saw the question that you're talking about.
So the question is, is the program is still online, or maybe something happens on site? Can a foreign founder obtain a visa to enter Estonia? And I think there's a lot of gains from having foreign founders outside of EU.
Yeah. So with the visa part, yes, that's a short answer. We're helping, but we're helping with the invitation, right? So be aware that we're not the governmental organization, right? So we cannot affect the border's decision to let you in the country or not, but we're making basically everything possible with all the documents needed for you to have a legal condition to enter Estonia, no matter which country you are from. And to give you an example, we ran 2 batches during the COVID. So starting from the spring batches, and then they ended in the end of summer 2020. And we managed to get startups from different countries in August to Estonia. So it is possible. But of course, the difficulties are coming from the logistics perspective, right? So how you will get from your country, even having the documents on your hands, how will you get in there? But we are providing all possible support. And regarding the visa itself, Startup Estonia website has amazing guidelines, step-by-step, clear and simple. So we are not creating a bicycle, right? So we don't have our own guidelines, because the guidelines that Startup Estonia website has, they're fit for everyone.
Thanks a lot. I think another important part that I'm surprised that no one has actually asked this question yet.
Which one? There are so many questions. I'm like, I can't wait to answer on all of them.
well, we can start go one by one, but maybe we can to the basics part. The question about the investment deal. That's a big part of any acceleration program, and I think we should cover that one. Can I, Mariia, direct it towards you?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so what we're looking at is 55,000 euros investment, which means that 30,000 is cash, and then 25,000 is going to be basically the program itself. And we're looking at a standard acquisition equity percentage of 9%.
Yeah, and important also to add is that there is an option to get a follow-on investment afterwards. So that's happening. And actually, like if you follow our social media accounts and see some news that we share about our startups, that you can see that what Karina mentioned, we are in it for the long term. So we are here to help you, and we also really participate in your journey also after acceleration program.
Our goal is basically your exit. So, of course, the main purpose of the acceleration program is for you to grow as entrepreneurs and to boost your traction and your performance metrics, which means that, if you're learning and striving to boost your startup, of course, we're open and we are doing the follow-up investments. So we're in it for a very long partnership. You should definitely speak to some of our alumni, ask them about their experience within the startup Wise Guys, and they will probably tell you that this has been from the very first contact and on. We're there for years because we are the partners of the team that is building this product.
Yep. Thank you. And we will go through the questions. Ladies are really eager to let's go these questions.
Unleash the questions. Unmute the microphone. Let us speak.
Unleash the questions. Okay, I will try to go really one by one. If any of you feel like jumping on the question, then you go. And I see some part of the questions that are really directed to Karina. So let's start with this one. We tackled it a little bit, but let's repeat. It's always good to repeat.
Let's repeat. You have an idea, you don't know what to do, please apply, and probably you will receive a standard answer, hey, you're too early, but that means we see you and we want to see some progress. So actually, once you decided to apply to Accelerator and you mentioned that you have an idea, you have to start to do something. And you have to start to create mock-ups, gather team, do something else. If you show at least any progress, I mean, if you will, from time to time, once a month or once a quarter, send to us, hey, by the way, we already have mock-ups, or by the way, we already have a pilot with this kind of company or this kind of clients. The next step will be that we'll offer you online pre-acceleration, which is extremely fruitful for idea stage or mock-up stage startups. And actually, this is how you're already getting on the table on our radar. So we'll see you. And if one of the upcoming acceleration, equity-based acceleration, will actually perfectly suit your industry profile or problem profile, for example, sustainability or fintech or cybersecurity related topics, we will definitely reach out to you and offer and ask about your progress, and actually would offer you next steps. And I also see that another questions, several questions related to application process and tips and tricks.
Yes.
Could I proceed with that?
So this one, what are your tips on the application itself? Something they really need to pay attention to.
Definitely. The main goal of each application is to be clear for people that are reading that. So my strongest suggestion, make sure that you have precise described problem and solution parts, and pay attention that you don't have to put a lot of text, because we are humans, we stay human, not bots are checking those applications. So please save our mental energy. Also, my suggestion is to run through the application, mark the questions that you actually don't know what to answer to, and put there something like, we are working on the answering this question. You can edit and update your application any convenient moment. And also, what we did, we reduced the amount of questions, and there are only 31 questions there. So it is quite easy, from my point of view, I would say, to fill in the application and do not postpone it for later. And as soon as you will send it, please put any kind of reminder to check regularly your promotions label or spam box, because sometimes we are sending some kind of emails or questions to the teams and they are not answering. That's the most amazing part of this process. So make sure that you are not putting a lot of text. also your emails and contact information is correct one, and also check your spam box and promotion labels in your mailbox. We definitely will reach out to you guys.
I think one important note on this to mention, yeah, Alexa, I will give a word to you. But one quick thing that we just discussed recently about those 30 questions, you think that that's a lot, like, we need to see that you're serious about your startup. So actually, by answering these questions, you show that this is something you want to do, and this is something that you are serious about. But I
would like to add something on that. It's not that we are testing you. It's actually at some specific moment, startups are starting to think about, so paying a bit more attention to how they run actually the business. For example, question about sales cycle. People are starting by having these questions in the front of their, on the screen, they actually start to think about it. Yeah, actually, how long it takes for me to close the deal with my clients? Interesting. Half a year. Oh my God, why so long? So it's not that we are testing or making an exam for you. It's actually most important parts of your business. And from time to time, you have to think about these areas and answer on questions from investors also.
Yep. Alexa?
Yeah, a small thing that I wanted to add is that for different companies, for different accelerators, for different investors, the pipeline where they are sourcing startups is different. For us, website application through the website is the main and the only source. So don't, I know that not many people like that, and also some don't like that, and some are afraid that, if you're applying as a cold application through website, it is a black hole. No. So
something will happen or nothing will happen. Yeah.
So be sure that it is the best thing to get in touch with us is through the application process that we have on the website, not through LinkedIn, not through emails. That's through the website. That's the active channel that we're constantly monitoring.
Yes, in comparison to sending cold emails, for example, I would say we already discussed that many times. So startups are trying to send with cold emails to accelerators and head of scouting processes or any kind of scouting managers, or reach out directly on the personal emails of business angels or head of funds. It's not effective thing to grab the attention. I would say it most of the cases you will not even get an answer. But once you applied, if there is any application form on the website of the company or accelerator or VC fund that you're trying to get into, please use it. It is the best way how to do that.
I will only add a little, if I may. Yeah, so it is a serious process of you filling out all the application forms and then going through the interviews. But it's justified because of how much learning we're willing to give to you as soon as you're joining our family. Just like we've mentioned, there has been 220 startups that are already a part of our ecosystem. And you can imagine that all of those learnings have been combined in order for us to create the program that we're willing to offer from April till August this year. Applications stop on March 8th.
My suggestion is to not postpone application on the 7th of March.
Absolutely.
That means you will definitely not get into our attention, like on the list of things that we have to do last days before the bootcamp. So apply tonight, tomorrow. Do not postpone it till Monday. Spend a couple of hours and put that tick box.
I would
the achievements of the new year.
I would actually say that don't leave it for tonight. Open the window next to this live video and start filling in that application.
No, but it makes sense because we're already talking to the startups that have been applying ever since we opened this selection. So
yes, and actually we are talking right now with startups that were applying on idea stage half a year ago. So yeah.
Yeah, so do it now. You actually see the website in the live, so you know where to go. You have no excuses. But okay, let's jump back to the questions that we have. I will direct the question towards Alexa, so putting you in the spotlight. And the competition question, which accelerator is your main competitor? So go.
No, so that's a really, really good question, and thank you for that. And I think to answer properly, it is important to get a bit back to our history. So we started in 2012. And in that moment, I would say it would be correct to say that our competition was the local accelerators in the region and maybe slightly more in the Europe. However, starting from 2016, we started growing fast. So to give you a bit of the perspective, historical perspective, from 2012 to 2016, we accelerated 6 batches. And since 2016 to 2021, right now, we already accelerated, what was it, 15 batches. So for us, a lot of things has changed in the past couple of years. So right now, our strategy, our goal as Startup Wise Guys is to be top 3 accelerators in the world, which means that as all of our team is working in this direction. This goes with many different things that we're doing. It's not only the acceleration program that we have in the company. So we have right now a lot of projects happening in different regions. And so I'd say that right now for us, the main competitors are Y Combinator, 500 Startups, and Techstars. However, keep in mind that all 3 accelerators that I just mentioned are working with both B2B and B2C startups. We are only B2B. So for us, the main target is B2B and Europe, which is also a bit of the difference from the accelerators that are mentioned. So we are trying to find, we are in the niche in a way, or in the, let's say, it's always, we're saying startups to focus. And this is something that we're doing ourselves as well. So I hope that Karina,
I would like to add one thing,
and right now, according to the recent data, I think, Luisa, you might know this data from Crunchbase, that in 2020 we were among top 50?
Top 50, yes.
Investors in the world, in the whole world. Yep. And now in our region, we are the fastest growing and the most active investor invest in the early stage B2B startups.
Yeah, and actually this number, very, very important. It just shows that COVID did not impact us that much. So we continue going forward, and also with how you see how the programs. So we value very much the on-site part, but we were ready. Online, we have to be online. We have to give the same value, the same workshops, the same knowledge, the same vibe. That's actually not an easy thing to do, but we are really, really working on that. So yeah, we are in here for that. I would
like to add and also answer at the same time on the question about do you recommend the startup to go first to accelerator or go directly to investors, and actually how different we are, who are those accelerators with whom we are competing with. So depends on the goal of the startup, we could compete or not compete in startup founders' head. For example, if a company wants to go and expand to US, definitely we are not the best case we are not the best case for them to apply to, because we are good at helping startups expand to Europe or in different countries, also in combination with Europe. But once you are focused on going to expanding to US, you definitely can try to find a proper accelerator somewhere there. And so actually in Europe, we are the leading one. If you're doing B2B, cyber, fintech, or sustainability startup, you have to apply to us and let's say see the difference.
Yep. So all the technical details.
Not enough. Yeah. I hope I answered. So my suggestion is also, like Michaela was asking about, what is the advice? Yes, I think accelerators is a great combination of knowledge, network expansion, and investment. Because I am not sure that in many cases, if you're receiving just investment from a particular fund or business angel, you will also receive any kind of additional mentor or mentorship or networking help.
I actually wanted to ask, and I know we have other questions there, and Mariia kind of also touched upon it a little bit, but I think that we need to talk a little bit more. So is this mentor network, and Mariia has actually been a mentor for, I don't know actually for how long you have,
2
like
years.
2 years, yes. So maybe you can kind of give also that side of a little bit how it is to be a mentor to startup Wise Guys batch teams, and what do you see, what you have seen, what mentors bring to the startups?
I tried to calculate recently how many startups have I had the pleasure to mentor over the years, and I think I'm over 100, to be honest, within those 2 years. So it's been crazy. But I've also been a part of the online pre-acceleration program mentorship. So what I feel is important to state right here is that while joining the acceleration program, you're not only joining, again, like sales, fundraising, pitching, frameworks, and coaches, right? You're joining the ecosystem. What we strongly recommend, and some of our mentors are from the alumni, so please do speak to the startups that have went through the program, and some of them are already becoming, our very trusted experts that are helping the future generations of, startups that are going through the program. It is a huge network of international experts, and by international, I mean we can't even calculate how many countries we have in our experts and investors and mentors bucket list. But all of those people are practitioners, and they are not, theoretic. It's people that are in the job, in the expertise that they are going to mentor you on every day. So they're giving you practical advices, they're giving you practical tools for you to go and implement into your business. And it's also a huge opportunity for you to get feedback on whether it's your idea, approach, like sales strategy, or I don't know, a test that you would like to run on the future clients, partners, whatever. So what I feel is a huge benefit that you're getting, not only the learning curve of the acceleration program, but also a huge network of people. And I have been a mentor on networking, so that's my core expertise. A huge network of people that are internationally experienced in all sorts of business niches, issues, expertise. So it's a huge asset, and you will see that if you're using it properly, it opens you 5 times more doors than you could even imagine.
Yes, I would say as a small example, in online pre-acceleration, the participants are having peer-to-peer sessions, and they constantly, after that, they are so amazed, like, oh my God, I didn't have any even thought about that in different countries. The approach to business and a cultural behavior that could completely change the mindset, like the whole business idea of my business, for example, or any kind of startup. So they are just simply amazed by the feedback that people are giving them within a small program. And yeah, I couldn't imagine how much, what is the experience in the regular equity-based program. Actually, mind-blowing and mindset changing.
It's like Yannicka, one of our alumni in the video, said, when it ends, you cry. And you cry from happiness. And I think Alexa, as being a batch managing director for 4 times something, could kind of 6 times already. So can say that's true. You cry at the end. But I will jump to Alexa with a question from actually our pitch coach, Gleb. About average valuation. So what is the average valuation of your batches before and after the program? Numbers question.
Thank you, Gleb, and hello. Sending you highs from Ukraine. There is a standard deal on the website that is very public that you can go over. I think we already covered it. It's up to 9% for up to 55K, which means that the average valuation, the standard valuation that we are offering to startups is around 600K plus. However, it is also important to mention that we have startups that are also later in their growth than compared to the standard deal that we are offering. Therefore, there could be there is an option to have a valuation higher. However, there is very clear and simple reason if the valuation could be higher for you. A, you had the previous round, which is proven, you received money with a different type of the valuation, you're providing the documents, we're happy to consider them and give you the offer you a different valuation. B, you have revenue that correlates with the valuation of your company. If you have no revenue or no previous rounds, then the standard deal is for you. And talking about the valuations after the program, I would say that on average, up to 1 million is the average growth after the program for startups that are raising the next round. However, it could be higher as well. It could be sometimes for super early stage startup that went with no kind of idea stage, or not idea stage, but MVP stage, and they joined the program with no not yet launched product, and they then through the program they launched the product. That sometimes I think remember startups raising within the next kind of bridge or angel round with 800K, but I would say that 1 million is kind of what is correct to say as a kind of average. But it can be 1.5, it can be 2, but again, it depends a lot on what you have achieved, what's your growth month over month, what's your technology, what's your strength, and how fast are you going to scale.
Thank you. I see a lot of you are actually kind of coming to the end of this Q&A. I'm like super happy. Thank you everyone for asking these questions. I will kind of to summarize the things that we have already told, I will direct the question towards Mariia about, so we covered it again, but let's repeat what kind of teams are we expecting to see? So it's a question, do they need to also be, can it be a team of 1 or 2? Actually, that's something we didn't answer. Do they have to be physically in Tallinn? And maybe also, I will remind, but there's a question about what do we have in Tallinn, our headquarters there. But let's go back to, let's go to the teams and then Tallinn. Okay. So, yeah.
Yes, so as mentioned many times before, we are looking into B2B SaaS startups, and our key requirement is for it to have 2 and more people. We are not investing in solo entrepreneurs, and well, it's I guess we had only just one exception like that, so there has to be.
We had more, but
okay.
Into the program as a solo entrepreneur, it's a really big it is difficult for a founder, and for us it's also, you're kind of in the bootcamp, you're competing with others, and we will probably give it's harder to prove that the solo entrepreneur can win the world, so it is possible. We had more than one exceptions, but it's just exceptions.
yeah, more like exceptions out of the
I have
rules.
to say, almost all of them failed. Because founders, solo founders, one man, almost all of them failed. I mean, solo founders are quicker to be burned out.
You need
So,
a team to support you. Yeah, you need more
course.
people for you to get all things covered. Yeah, so that's one. And I guess the question is much more about what we're looking into is, of course, the strife, the passion to actually bring and bootstrap your startup, or bring it to a completely next level of quality and speed that you're going with. And you do need to understand that the program itself is quite intense. It's a lot of fun, a lot of networking, a lot of different sorts of back and forth feedback, and pitching almost all the time. But it is quite some work that you have to put into those 20 weeks of work. Also, the question was whether it can be only in Tallinn or remotely. If the conditions allow us, then we're bringing all the teams to Tallinn. And yes, it's a requirement for you to be on site, being with us throughout the whole program. But of course, if we're sticking to the hybrid online program, then we're all in the same conditions, and it's going to be held like that.
Yeah, so one of the things worth mentioning is that we are actually in Tallinn. We have our Wise Guys office. We actually have a Wise Guys office in all 3 Baltic countries and in Milan as well.
Not only, yeah, actually, like the previous year, we expanded in 3 more countries.
Yeah, I'm actually wanted to ask when Mariia and Alexa will be opening an office in Kiev. So why we don't have a co-working there yet? So because they're both calling in from there. So
it's in progress.
It's in as far as I have heard, there's this cool gym and a cool co-working where if you are from Brook, Ukraine, and you want to catch Alexa or Mariia, find that gym and find.
Yeah. Pretty much. Chances are very high to meet us there. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had one more question. I will direct Alexa volunteer to answer it. So a question from Arthur about how exactly can we help with B2B acceleration? Do we have any partnerships and so on? So Alexa, go.
Go. The question is, the answer is that we have a really. So if you go to our website, you will not find the logos of corporates that we have official partnerships with. There are a couple of reasons for that. First, that a lot of accelerators are there are corporate accelerators, for example, right, that are working together with large corporates, and that's the kind of type of the partnership that they provide. Since Start Wise Guys is a private venture fund, a privately baked accelerator, we are trying to get as much independence, not to get, but to gain and to keep the independence as much as possible. So it's only us, the operational team, the management team, who are making the main investment decisions. Therefore, how we work with startups. First, the whole program, for example, why B2B, right? So the whole program, the whole content of the program and all the mentors are coming with specifically B2B skills, knowledge, content, approach. So we do not cover B2C topics in the acceleration. That's why there is no kind of point for us to take B2C startups in the program. Of course, there are exceptions because a lot of things like business building basics are a fit for everyone. But the focus is very clear on B2B content and B2B health skills. Karina, I see you, but wait.
Sure, notice about B2C startups. Of course, for example, we can take them in the fintech programs or sustainability programs, but still in this specific areas, they cannot work and thrive without strong B2B partners or clients. So this is the B2B2C combination. This is more difficult to understand for startups what to do in this component. Apply to B2B accelerator for sure. We will cut your C part.
Not for everyone, not that cruel, but maybe. But another thing is that, but we do have partnerships. They're not listed on our website, but we do have them. For example, we are a partner with Google in Baltics. For example, we have a fintech batch, not the fintech vertical that we're working with. And in fintech vertical, Swedbank was one of our partners for the previous batches. We have a couple of fintech related corporates right now that are partners for our fintech batch that is running in Vilnius. So there is a number of corporates that we can put you in touch that are official our partners, but they're not. But they're kind of coming from the perks and from the network perspective that we have internally. But another thing about the approach, what we do is, I think we're telling to everyone that investor is a resource. Investor is a tool. So if a startup needs a connection with a corporate, there is a really high chance that we have that connection. So what we do, we ask startup to tell us who they need to talk with, and we will find a way to connect you. So this is how kind of it works.
Yeah, there was also a question about, do we help finding VCs? And we have a big network of investors as well. So of course,
a lot of investors are participating on the Progress Day, pitch days, demo days, and online programs. They constantly are participating in like one-to-one speed mentoring. So we have really long list of investors that are in touch with us and are eager to take a look at our startups.
Yeah, and actually, like throughout the program, we have like these two big events besides the launch of the batch, but it's the Progress Day and the Demo Day, where we actually that's the audience that we try to get for our startups. That is other investors that could be interested in startups for to support them in their journey towards their great exit. Okay, I see one more question again about where the startup needs to be registered, and does the startup need to register actually in Estonia, or they can be registered in America? So I would say, oh yeah, we want startups from America. Maybe Mariia, you can jump on this question quickly. Are there any restrictions for a startup company and where they are based, and if they are from America, can they join our batch?
There are basically 5 main legislation areas where we work with directly, which are Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, and also UK and the US. Then all the European registrations, so we do not work with registration outside of Europe, and the European legislation that was not named by me, that's like an additional step for us to sign in, and the legal fees of that sort of alignment and adjustments are on the startup.
I will just add a small tip to this one. Yes, so it's not like we're not working with all the non-EU legislation, which is true, but we're more talking about the region that is coming to more east. So whatever is easter to Europe, which is Ukraine, where I am from, where Mariia is from. And that part, I don't know, Russia, Kazakhstan, I don't know, Armenia. So it is quite hard from the investment perspective to invest in those companies. That's why we don't do that. But if you're registered in somewhere else in Europe, it's fine. And regarding the costs that Mariia mentioned, this is true. But the reason behind is that we have one lawyer. So, and one lawyer as one person cannot know all the legal rules and regulations of all the world, right? So we have our templates for 5 main, most common, let's say, regions. and all the rest. If it's really if those 5 regions won't fit for you, you are completely free to register somewhere else. But but then kind of you will need to have to pay to lawyers to kind of explain and learn how to do it.
But yeah, to fill in the applications, you can have not anything at all. I mean, you can have a product without registered company at all. So no restrictions on that step.
But we hope you want to register the company. So that we hope
Yeah,
that's
to get
the goal there.
to get the investment, of course, you have to register the company. But before you will apply to Startup Wise Guys or any accelerator, and we'll start conversations with a range of investors, do not be in rush to register a company, because usually investors are willing to invest in their low area.
Yes, thank you. Thank
So
you,
many
ladies.
questions.
I think, yeah,
so many questions today. It's like, so
we
much
are,
interest.
but I do think that we should be kind of wrapping up this thing. I'm super happy that we had so many questions. You can still, you can apply, you go to the website, you apply, you ask the questions. Throughout the application process, you will get to talk to Karina, Mariia. They will ask you lots of questions. So it's not like you have questions, but we also have questions when you fill in the applications.
That's true.
and yeah, be ready to answer them. Yeah, Alexa.
Yeah, I see that we're already run out of time, but I see also that we have a couple of more questions that are unanswered, including Gleb's, the last one, which is also a quite interesting one. But I probably can offer to either drop us an email if you were asking something here that we could not cover because of the time, and we will reply to you in the email. That's one thing. Another thing is that we will have another Q&A happening, right? Somewhere in 2 weeks, in 2-3 weeks, in 2 weeks, something, right? So we unfortunately we already took more than an hour, but if you need to, always knock on the door, and we'll respond.
Well, we are always open. Also, if you were part of this live, that means that you are already following our social media. But make your friends and everyone else follow, and you can ask questions also there. I will make sure that I find the right person to answer the questions that you ask, or direct you towards any of these amazing ladies, and they will take it further. To wrap it up, main things to remember from today: applications are open to Wise Guys SaaS program starting in April. Applications are open till March 8th. But don't wait till the last moment to apply.
Don't wait till the last moment, please.
Don't wait it. And actually, as we mentioned, if you apply this week, you can still jump into the online pre-accelerator and actually gain extra knowledge even before you join the program. So that means that you can already kind of get ahead other startups. So apply. If something, ask us questions. We are super happy to talk to you and see that you were so active. Thank you, ladies, for joining me for this conversation.
Thank you, everyone.
It was a pleasure to have you here. And goodbye, everyone. Have an amazing day and week.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
I hope to see